Hi everyone, Radhe Radhe. In this video, we're going to be doing chapter 7, verse 24. And oh my god, this is one of those memorizing verses, especially if you're ever having debates between personalist and impersonalist, dualism, non dualism, Dvaita, Advaita. Memorize this verse and learn it word by word, so that you'd have absolute rock solid Shastric Praman in the Gita. Gita Praman, because everybody follows the Gita, even the impersonalist, that Bhagwan Shri Krishna is a form-filled, form person. Okay, so let's sing this verse together, and the commentaries are really good on this, and this is one of those phenomenal verses. I can't get over how good chapter 7 is. It's just power packed with all kinds of absolute pure goodness. It's just so good, especially for anybody who loves bhakti. Oh yeah, and I was having like really long conversations with a friend yesterday about bhakti and what it means, and we were just going into the nitty gritties, and it was so powerful. So here is what. I'm going to just share a little bit before I jump into the verse. Here is what it is. So what I have been approaching it as is I want bhakti because it gives me, as per the Shikshashtakam, which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wrote that. So I'm like, I have Shastric Praman for that too, right? That I want Anand Ambudhi Vardhanam. Anand means bliss, Ambudhi means ocean, Vardhanam means expanding. So ever expanding ocean of bliss. I want that. The reason I want that is because I feel that once I understand my relationship, my eternal relationship with Krishna, Krishna is the ultimate Purush. He is the ultimate enjoyer, and I am everybody else, all living beings. Every single living being is the feminine, basically, is the servant. Servant is a very harsh word, but yes, I mean, basically, our relationship with Krishna is that we are eternally there to serve him and to please him and to make him happy. This is what I've been learning and reading in the Shastras. And so once I understand my eternal relation, like truly understand, realize knowledge, Vigyan, that my relationship with Krishna is he's the ultimate Purush and I'm the Prakriti, I'm the feminine, and I'm there to serve him and make him happy and do whatever I can to make him happy. And that will make me happy. I will get joy in that. So the conversation was that I want to get that joy. I want to get that Anandambati Vardhanam, which is the ever expanding ocean of bliss, because when I understand that, then I feel bliss. When I understand my relationship with Krishna, then I feel bliss, and I want that bliss, and that's what I want. Like, I don't want the material joy, happiness, because it's fleeting, and because there are 4 or 5 different things that are there. I should ask. So the Gita class that I attended on Saturday, he had this slides which explained that. I should actually ask him, and I'll talk about it in my tomorrow's videos if he sends it today. But there are basically the material happiness is fleeting. It is flickering. It will pass, right? It is never going to be increasing. It is always going to be decreasing. The more you have, you can get money. You'll be happy for a moment, but then the happiness will decrease, and then you'll be like, okay, what's next? So the opposite of that in the spiritual world is it's all ever expanding, Anandambati Vardhanam, ever expanding ocean of bliss. And it's if we have one drop of 1,000th of the bliss, like not pure bliss because we can't experience that right now, but if we can get 1,000th of the diluted bliss, then we are like so happy and we're telling everyone, oh, I had this experience and this was such a good powerful experience for me. Like, that's that. And then if we have one drop of that pure bliss, oh, you cannot even imagine. And then you have an ocean of that, and you have an expanding ocean of that. So that was what I was thinking about. I was like, yes, I want that bliss. But then what he was saying is that what if we want to serve just for the sakes of killing our ego and just for the sakes of service? Because if we want that bliss, then we're being selfish. We're doing it for wanting that bliss. And I was like, I understand what you're saying, but I can't. Like, it's my motivation for everything. It's because I want that bliss, because we human beings are also Satchidanand. Bhagwan is also Satchidanand, and we are also Satchidanand, which means Sat means truth, Chit means consciousness, and Anand means bliss. So we want bliss. We are also enjoyers, but we're just the quantity is much smaller, and Bhagwan is huge quantity, and we are infinitesimal quantity. We do want that enjoyment. So I was like, what you're doing is you're taking away Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Shikshashtakam from me, and what you're doing is you're like how can what is the motivation for me to do anything if I'm not doing it for joy, for anand, for bliss, for true bliss? And but he's like, yeah, that's being selfish. You should be serving because you love the person and you want to make the other person happy, not because you want to make yourself happy in the process of making the other person happy. I was like, this is too much. I'm like, I don't know how to handle that. That's like, this is such a, to me, is such a deep, powerful conversation, and I'm eager to ask people this question and see if I can find answers to these. But like, it's just amazing, right? Okay, so this verse here is talking about the form of Krishna. So okay, let's go into the verse and let's sing together. Avyaktam vyaktimapannam manyanti mamabodhayah param bhavamajananto mamava vyayamanotamam. Okay, what he's saying? Unintelligent. Bhagwan Shri Krishna does not pull any punches. He keeps saying men of small intelligence, poor fund of knowledge, unintelligent man. He uses that all the time. My goodness. It's like it's super harsh. And me coming from a personal growth background, I'm like, oh my goodness, do you have to be so harsh? Everybody, I mean, I know that Krishna loves everybody. I know that Krishna loves it. When I was an atheist, I can see just every step by step how much he pulled me towards him. So it's not that, I mean, he's calling me unintelligent because I was unintelligent. I mean, whatever, but it doesn't change his love. But yeah, I mean, he's harsh. Ooh, he's harsh. Okay. Unintelligent men who do not know me perfectly think that I, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, was impersonal before and now have assumed this personality in this birth as Krishna when he was born. Due to their small knowledge, they do not know my higher nature, which is imperishable and supreme. Okay, let's do word by word and then we'll go through the comments. But Prabhupada's commentary in this is just spot, like this is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, Avyaktam, non-manifested, Vyaktim personality. Apannam achieved, manyatam think, mam may, abudhaya, less intelligent person. Okay, so less intelligent people think that I have achieved this personality, non-manifested personality, supreme param bhavam existence, ajanatah, without knowing my imperishable, the finest. Okay. So without knowing my imperishable, my finest imperishable supreme thing, supreme, which is, they do not know my higher nature, which is imperishable and supreme. Okay. So the less intelligent persons think that I have achieved this personality, that I'm okay, I don't understand the word by word. I can't figure it out. If anybody can figure it out, please help me out in the comments because I'm not able to figure this out. Okay. But he also says the same thing, so I'm just going to go by that. The less intelligent people think that I, Lord Shri Krishna, was formless earlier and now have assumed this personality. They don't understand the imperishable, exalted nature of my personal form. Yeah, that's even clearer than imperishable, exalted nature of my personal form. Okay. Okay. So earlier, yeah, Bhagavan Shri Krishna called the people who worship demigods as less intelligent. Now impersonalists are less intelligent. Like he's like really going. So he says that still people think that the Supreme Lord has no form. And he's written a very appropriate verse in this. Who has written the? Ramanujacharya. Oh, Yamunacharya, great devotee of Ramanujacharya, has written this, that by understanding you, your form, your activities and everything, we will, the great devotees will understand. But those who are in mode of passion and ignorance, they cannot understand you. Okay, so let's go to the next one. In the Brahma Samhita, it's stated that God cannot be understood by study of Vedanta. Okay, so this is where it is. You cannot understand. So I'm understanding this also after reading the Gita, because people used to say that you should read the Vedas, not the Gita. Now I understand. Now I have an answer for that, because the Gita says that the Vedas are there for people who are materialistic, who want to attain material gains and who want to worship the demigods. But the Gita clearly says, right, in the last few verses we've seen, that Bhagwan cannot be like if you want to go to primary school, then you attain, and if you cannot get over your material things, then yes, you do the Vedas and you follow the Vedas. But if you want to go straight, for the ultimate joy, then, because what happens when you when you follow the scriptures, the yagyas and sacrifices and everything in the Vedas, is that you will get Swarglok, which means heaven. You will go to heaven, and then you will come back down, and then because whatever good karma that you've accumulated, you will burn it off in heaven, and you'll feel really good in heaven. But then you'll come back down, because that's not permanent, right? That's not eternal. That's just a place where you go. So, but that's still a step. That is a step for us. That's a very important, good step for us to take if we still have material desires, that we can do that. But if we just straight want something that's permanent and eternal, and we want eternal bliss, we want Anandambhuti Vardhanam, and I'm saying, yes, I do want that ocean of joy. I'm going by that right now, because that's the motivation that I have. Otherwise, I don't know how to do anything. Like, I don't have the motivation to just simply kill my ego. I have the motivation for joy. This is why my driving force for all of this. So anyways, yeah, I got distracted by that conversation. But that conversation aside, assuming that I want joy, the joy that comes from serving Krishna, yes, the joy that inherently comes from serving Krishna, not something from him, but the joy that comes from serving Krishna. Okay, so once I understand that where was I going with this? My goodness. I've lost my train of thought. Oh no, I've totally lost my train of thought. I'm trying to read here. Where did it come from here? Yeah, I went down into okay. I'm having such good conversations with people. I'm wanting to share so much, and then I lose my, okay. Let me go back to this. Okay. Persons, okay, so he says worshippers of the demigods are less intelligent, and people who think that God does not have a form are less intelligent. So, so what I was saying is that Gita says very clearly that people who are going down the Vedantic path, Vedas, studying the Vedas, are there. It's a step. It's a necessary step for people who do want material. But if you don't need the material, or if you can go, I mean, you do need the material right now. I want the material for sure, but I'm still going straight for devotion. I'm praying to God that I want devotion. I want bhakti. I want Krishna Prem. I want pure bhakti for you. I want the final goal. So even though I want material things, and I'm still asking God for material things, and Bhagwan said in chapter 7:16 that there are 4 types of people who ask me, who pray to me, that those who want material things as well, which is where I'm at. I want material things as well as the pure bhakti. But yes, so if you can go down this road of just going directly towards what is eternal rather than going down the Vedas road. So now I have a clear response for people who say you should study the Vedas, and I'm like, no, I do not want to study. I categorically, absolutely do not want to study the Vedas, and this is why. Because I want something that's eternal. I do not want something where I'm just going there to heavens and I'm coming back. There's nothing in it for me. I don't care for that personal enjoyment of the heavens. Okay, I'm glad that I remembered. Okay, so now to go back to this. Persons who are under the impressions of that absolute truth is impersonal is described as abuddhayaha, which means those who do not know the ultimate feature. So not exactly unintelligent, but just those who do not know. That makes sense. I like it. Okay, good. Okay. So in the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated that supreme realization. So he is using the word self-realization and God realization in different ways. There's a difference because we are different from God. So self-realization is understanding that we are the soul, we are the Atma. God realization is understanding Krishna. So here supreme realization means God realization begins from impersonal Brahman and then rises to the localized super soul. So in the impersonalists think that it ends there, but there is a higher level. So they get to the thing, and it's good too. I mean, that's obviously way better than the material. They're detaching from the material, and the personalists are then attaching to Bhagwan Shri Krishna. They're attaching to God, but they are able to see, the personalists are able to see higher than the impersonal. Impersonalists think that's the end. That's the only difference. But okay, so this was powerful. What Prabhupada is saying is that even Sankracharya, who is the impersonalist, the person who wrote the impersonalist philosophy in the early like 1000 something, 1200 something, he specifically stated that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. So that is where what confuses me. I would really love to explore this further as to where he said that, because he does. I know that he has this prayer, Bhaja Govindam, which means like pray to Krishna. So, and that is a very popular thing. I went to the Chinmaya mission once and they were singing that, Bhaja Govindam. And I found out, I was surprised. I was like, oh, I thought that they were not about bhakti. But so I don't understand what exactly impersonalists think, because here Prabhupada is saying that Shankaracharya has said that Krishna is the supreme God. So yeah, they think that Krishna is just a son of Devaki and Vasudeva, or a prince, or a powerful entity. But and then in the Bhagavad Gita 9:11, he says, "Only fools regard me as ordinary people, a person." Aha! Well, again, he's like fools, fools and miscreants. The way Prabhupada also talks, you're a fool, you're a miscreant. These, I'm like, oh my goodness. Oh, okay. Okay, so nobody can understand Krishna without devotional service and without developing Krishna consciousness, and the Bhagavatam talks about that. Even so, people who speculate, who study, or whatever, if one is favored by even slight trace of the mercy of your lotus feet, then they can understand. But if you're trying to understand you through the Vedas, you will not be able to. They will not be able to understand. So that's the thing. And then the chanting, of course, is what he's talking about here. That the Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. That is that is the best, fastest path to devotion. The 20th verse clearly says, those who are blinded by lust desires surrender unto the demigods. Okay. 20th verse of what? This one. Chapter 7, yeah, we just did that. Okay, and then we saw that in the 23rd verse, he's saying the worshippers of the demigods go to their planets, the Swarglok planets, and because the demigods also are not permanent, right? That's a post. Indra is a post. It keeps changing. So that's also not permanent. They're just enjoying, because they must have done good karma. So they're enjoying the fruits of that good karma by being there. But they're not going directly for ultimate pure bliss, Anandambuti Vardhanam. They're not going for that. Okay. From the study of Gita, it does appear that the demigod and the... Okay. Yeah, so the monistic contention that the ultimate truth is formless and form is imposed in that birth that Krishna took, that does not hold true, because Krishna clearly says here that it's not true. Lord Krishna is Satchidanand, eternal blissful knowledge. Eternal blissful knowledge. Sat is knowledge, Chit is eternal consciousness, and Anand is bliss. He's the reservoir of unlimited auspicious qualities. Okay, let's do Swami Mukundanand very quickly, and then... okay, so people vehemently debate while that he's a formless god, and others claim. Even those who agree are confused. So which one of them? So in this verse resolves this debate by saying God exists in the spiritual realm eternally in his divine form. The ignorant who do not understand, ignorant, yeah, not unintelligent, he's saying ignorant, which is so much kinder, do not understand the magnificent and imperishable nature of his personal form. The divine personality is not manifested from the formless Brahman, it is primordial. Okay. And then the Padma Puran says that the light that emanates from the toenails of God's personality is worshipped as Brahman by the Gyanis. Okay, so that's it for this video. We'll do chapter 7 verse 25 in the next video. I hope this was helpful for you. I got very excited after our conversation yesterday, and just in general when I saw this verse I was like, yes. So yeah, wish you a day filled with lots of spiritual growth. Radhe Radhe.